Well, there's a new report by Kaufman Hall showing 1 out of 10 Texas hospitals is at serious risk of closure. Now, the report underscores the pandemic's dramatic toll on hospitals as they face mounting strain from respiratory illness surges, workforce shortages, and rising costs. Here to talk with us about this topic is John Hawkins, CEO and president of the Texas Hospital Association. John, good morning. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for being here, sir. First off, can you tell us, how does this strain on hospitals really impact the patients?
Well, I think ultimately when you see these fiscal headwinds that hospitals are facing right now, you're going to see closures potentially in rural areas, but in an urban area like Houston, you'll see hospitals limiting service lines, limiting access points, and that will mean people have to wait longer for care or travel further to actually access that care.
So it's really not even completely closures then, it's just sort of drawing back services is another issue.
Correct. When you have staffing shortages, you're going to have to necessarily limit service lines, longer wait times in the emergency room, and I think we're already seeing that obviously with a lot of the respiratory illness out there.
So how do we address this problem? I mean, is it money? Is it staffing? What is it, do you think?
I think it's both. We're going to ask the legislature to invest in the healthcare system. Healthcare is infrastructure. We need to make sure they're addressing the increased inflationary cost in the healthcare system. And we're asking them to invest significantly in our workforce pipeline to really help build capacity in the system statewide.
I referenced in the beginning the pandemic having an impact, and what we've been hearing from doctors is this flu season is especially bad right now. This isn't a one and done, or I mean, is this a problem we can just tackle? Is this something that only started in COVID, or is this something that's been marinating for years?
We always had a challenge with nursing particularly. We had a nursing shortage before the pandemic. The pandemic has obviously made it worse. So as we continue to see these surges in diseases, we're just going to have to continue to work through this. And again, I think that's where the legislature can really step up and invest in our workforce pipeline to help build capacity as we deal with current respiratory issues and whatever the next kind of disease spike is out there.
Is there anything specifically that you guys are looking for the legislature to address, and maybe how would they do that with certain laws, or what's the plan?
Well, the biggest thing we can do is invest in things like our Nursing Shortage Reduction Fund, which helps increase faculty salaries at our nursing schools. We actually turned away 15,000 qualified nursing applicants last year because we just don't have the faculty to teach them. So that's a tool. Loan repayment programs, paying for clinical rotations, all of those things can help attract people to the healthcare workforce.
How full are the various hospital beds? I mean, I know you guys sort of keep track of the numbers, and as I mentioned before, flu, RSV, it's COVID still, it's a pretty bad year, I think.
Yeah, and we know just within our pediatric facilities, when we look at the state and federal data, they're at 91% capacity right now. So that's a challenge, and I think people are seeing that in increased wait times, difficulty in accessing services. So it's a real challenge right now. We think RSV is at least leveled off, but really flu right now is what we're seeing is increasing.
We mentioned at the top of this interview, 1 in 10 hospitals roughly in Texas is at risk of closure. Have we had a lot of closures? Is there a certain number in a typical year, or how does that usually work?
Well, actually, Texas led the nation, unfortunately, in the number of rural hospital closures before the pandemic. Thankfully, a lot of the federal funding that was appropriated to deal with COVID has helped stem that tide. We really haven't seen a closure over the last 3 years, but all that did was create a fiscal cliff. That federal funding has either already ended or it's about to end, and so our concern is with no more additional federal relief funding, we're going to see more closures again.
Well, we'll see what the legislature does. John Hawkins, CEO and president of the Texas Hospital Association. John, thanks for your time and insight on this topic.
Yes, and we appreciate your interest. Thank you.
My pleasure. And for our viewers at home, you can search Texas hospitals and Scene on 7 at click2houston.com for more on this topic. Thanks again to Mr. Hawkins.